Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Life with Avichayil and Rivka. We're back here again.
This time in a new location.
New location, new setup, and back together. This is good. This is good. I think I would recommend all couples have a podcast. They could, connect for however long in a very different way.
Yeah, we actually did a lot of learning through the podcast.
We did.
We had some arguments.
Some?
Right before the camera went on.
Right before action. I think maybe it's just like couples should be doing things, different things all the time, like new experiences. Like it keeps things. I don't want to say the word interesting, but like it keeps things new. Like you never seen your spouse, run a relay race, so seeing them and running a relay race with them would be fun, but also new. Because you haven't seen them get out of breath necessarily, or you haven't seen them run, with all their might and then win, and see that experience.
Right, and also it's also scary to do the new things.
Right. Anyway, so we're on this podcast. This week was a very interesting week for us. We launched the couples course. The couples course is a course that Rivka and I took when we were dating. Actually, we were engaged.
No, we were.
Oh, that's right.
When we took it, it was on Zoom. We took it on Zoom. It was 6 or 8 sessions, 2 hours each on Sundays. The last Sunday, we had our call, let's say 10 to 12, and then we left to Brooklyn to our engagement party.
Yeah. From the last session of the couples course.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that I took a course like this that I took something that was focused on emotions or feelings that was different than my yeshiva understanding. It's interesting, like in yeshiva, it's very, like we talk, and specifically in Chavetz Chaim, like we talk about, we have Musar Shmuzim, we have the Torah, the Das Torah there's a large focus on emotions, on understanding yourself, understanding how you work, what makes you tick. But it's so intellectual.
Right.
Which is interesting because there's a major part of the shmooze where, how does this apply to you? But it becomes an intellectual exercise where it's like, I'm going to try to understand the shmooze, but then also try to attack the shmooze. Is it mukhrach? Like, or do the words in the pasuk say exactly what the shmooze is? When you say like this is how this is how it should be applied to yourself, like does that work? It becomes an intellectual exercise as opposed to actually feeling the feelings.
Yeah, I remember that specific point. Like when we were dating, and I started seeing this. You were my first introduction to Chavetz Chaim. And I thought that it was amazing, the words that you would say, the feeling words. And then, when we did our own work together, so we developed our own dance with our own feeling words. But then when we would have, guys over for Shabbos and meals, then they would say shmuzin. That's when I started realizing, hold on, it's really cool and it's incredible, the understanding and the words and the feeling words and understanding yourself. Yet it does seem that it's missing that piece sometimes, that feeling, and it's a step. It's better than not having that understanding, the intellectual understanding, yet it's not doing the same thing for you if you're not understanding how to feel it. I remember even saying to you, there should be an exercise of this is what the shmooze is saying, and now let's practice it.
Yeah.
Let's practice it. Close your eyes and do a feelings meditation.
So let's talk about that. What does it mean to feel a feeling? What does that look like? What's going on inside your body?
I think it's really zoning in. It's not just talk. It's not just in your head. It's coming out from the head and going below the neck. Starting to feel it. Now as I'm talking, I feel a difference. I feel more settled in my chest. And sort of listening inside of my body instead of just listening to my head.
Is it like it's like an energy that's flowing through you?
I think that is what feelings are. Yeah.
Right. So what are right? I guess that's the question. What are feelings?
Feelings are energy in motion.
What does that mean?
It's
Well, I guess maybe we can describe like when a person feels mad. What does that? What does that mean? Feels mad? Where's the mad coming from? I feel this table. The table's outside of me, and I'm feeling the table. Is mad like that, where it sort of just enters you, and like now, mad has entered your body, and for some, it might be like a burning sensation. But it's interesting because when you talk about that, like, you can't really talk about feelings without making it sound like you're talking about heebie-jeebie stuff. Like, what are you talking about? Energies? You're talking. What exactly? What do you mean by all this? Like, what does that mean?
I do think it takes some practice to actually understand it. Yeah, once you understand it, it's not, I don't see it as talking about heebie-jeebie things. Meaning there's a shift. If someone's not, like before I became aware of the physical sensations of the feelings in my body, from let's say feeling mad or sad, then it was like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what that means. Oh, I feel sad. Yeah, because I'm crying, I feel sad. No, just because I'm crying doesn't mean I feel sad. So it's like, it's a practice. I think meditation helps get there. It's listening, really listening.
Right. I think the reason why I'm saying heebie-jeebie is because you can't point to something, say that is mad, but you can feel it.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
I'm ready to hear you.
It's a feeling. I mean, is there any other word to describe it? It's just something that you know is going on inside you, and either could flow through you or get stuck inside you.
Right.
Which is what feeling your feelings means. Like, not letting it just like stick inside you and just like, and it could stick inside you for two reasons. It could stick inside you because you don't want to feel it, like you stuff it down. Like when people say like, you know, like be like, I don't want to be mad because being mad is not a good trait, right? So like they'll push down the mad and they're not going to allow themselves to feel mad. So then the mad is just stuck. And another way is just like feeling the mad because you like it. You sort of like, you get some sort of pleasure out of it, but not letting it flow through you, so you just become
Destructive,
right? But that's interesting, right? It's like we're describing feelings in a way that...
But there is a physical aspect to it. Like, it's not just like there's a physical sensation of feeling mad, happy. There is a physicalness to it. You just have to listen enough to feel it, and then to identify it. It's not the same as an actual table. It's true, but there is. It's not just I'm missing some words, but it's not just like an idea. There is something concrete about it.
You need help with your mic?
No, it's gonna keep moving.
Fault. Some technical issues.
It's okay.
So yeah, so this was the first time when I took this course, was the first time that I started down this path.
Yeah, let's back up even a step. Like, how was it for you? So I was part of this. This course is given by Your Infinite Life. I've been part of them for a few years before we started dating. How was it for you when I asked if you would take it with me?
I was very doubtful. Specifically because I didn't want to like go into a place where I felt like was a very feminine thing. Feeling your feelings just sounds very feminine. That's women feel feelings, like, or women are involved with feelings, while men, don't they don't do that. We take care of business, right? We don't feel our feelings. And I don't mean that in like, oh, men are like this. This was my own understanding. Like I did
You've
not.
also changed your understanding a lot since.
Right. That was where it came from. Like I didn't want to appear weak. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be like, the word is vulnerable, but it's not really vulnerable. The word is, I was insecure about what it would be like if people see what I'm actually feeling. That was probably very much deeper down in my conscious. I didn't know if I like consciously knew that. Yeah, so I had a lot of doubts. It was a little bit like I was going to go in and just sort of observe. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll see if this is good for me, sort of deal. Because you wanted to do it, and you've also been with the company, Your Infinite Life, for a long time. So like, you wanted to do it, then let's do it.
Right.
It's interesting also, like, I think a lot of couples, they talk about like going to couples therapy before getting married. I don't think I felt like we needed that. I didn't think that like we needed before marriage to like go
Meaning
to a coach
we, as in me and you,
you.
or for the idea of whoever you would be with to go.
No, me and you. It's only after the couples course and after we got married that like I realized like actually going to a couples therapist or coach is actually very helpful. And it makes so much sense to do it before marriage. It just didn't occur to me to do it.
Yeah. I remember with one of the reasons that I wanted to do it was because it was important to me. Like, these courses are important to me. I would talk about it all the time with you. And I remember sometimes it felt like you questioned and doubted things that I said from it. And like, these ideas were really important to me. And I wanted to do this with you to see, like, is this something that we can live with? Like, is this something that we can incorporate and have in our... I didn't know specifically what the couples course would be like. I hadn't done it, but just I knew it would be Your Infinite Life ideas. I mean, it's not their own ideas, but yeah. And one part that was helpful for me is that like there was sort of like an outside person coming in saying things about holding space, feeling feelings, trust, limiting beliefs, how your past can affect your communication, all these ideas. And it was like, it wasn't coming from me. It was an outside source. The couple was actually teaching it to us. And it felt that you were able to receive it differently from them. Like when they said something, it was like, oh, interesting. And like, Avichayil, you know that I just said the same exact thing to you during whatever conversation that we had. So that was definitely something that was a big deal for me. Of like getting that. I think there wasn't some like, for some time after, I definitely felt some repair needing to be done for that, like, oh, you didn't believe me, but now you can believe them type of thing. And we've talked about it.
Do you feel like that you've repaired that, or you
Yeah.
still need some?
No,
Because now I listen to you whenever.
Good, you learned.
By the way, this is a note. I don't know. Again, I don't know if there's anything I say here stays here. No, I'm just kidding. Anything I say here, I want to try to say from my own experience. I don't want to say like generalities. What I have found though in our marriage is that if there's a decision to make and you're very sure about something, you're not usually. I don't think there's been a space where you've not been right, which is incredible, because it's like it's almost like there's a decision that has to be made. You're very confident about this answer, and I want to do something else. Sometimes it might not even come from a logical place, just like because I just want to do something else and not what you want to do. But then your answer ends up being the right answer. So like they say the wife is always right or something like that. Like,
Or something like that.
is that how they say it? The wife is always right?
Something
I feel like
that.
the customer is always right, which apparently is not the full quote. The customer, I don't know. If anybody knows what the full quote of the customer is always right, please post it in the comments. But that's not the full quote. But so it's just very interesting to see like this thing you suggested in the very beginning ended up being something that not only has helped us in our marriage tremendously, but it's now something that we're doing and sharing with other couples.
Yeah. with how it has helped us. Something I was thinking about because we keep talking about it with every call I make to somebody to tell them about the couples course to see if they're interested. It's like I think of a different part of the couples course. Like there's so many parts to it. What was I going to say? I
Well, I guess what was your like? What was the? You've been in part of your infant life for a long time, so like, what did you learn in the couples course that was different than what you already sort of knew? Like, what did you learn about marriage or being a couple?
Oh, okay. Can you hold on that question?
Hold on that thought.
Because that reminded me. What I realized is about this course is that really when we are in a good place, communication wise and relationship wise, we tap into tools that we got from this course. When we are in a challenging place and we're having difficulty communicating with each other, we also tap in and use from this course. And I thought that was so interesting. It's like it's not just for when you have a problem. It's not just for everything is going good. It can be used both parts. We can just tap into. I also like that. I really want to stick to we. We can tap into the part or the tool or the technique or the skill that we know and that we learned for the situation that we need right then. When we're doing good, okay, great. Let's continue to do the couples trust agreement that we learned to continue our connection and to strengthen it. And when we are struggling, yeah, we also realize like, hey, we need a like
Review.
Yeah, we need a review or what's the trigger? Like what's going on over here for you? What's going on for me? What's happening? And that I thought was really cool.
That is cool. So what was something in the course that like you didn't know beforehand?
That I didn't know beforehand. There was a lot. I don't remember very clearly everything that we learned in the course. That's why I am so excited that we're going to get to do the course again now. I'm so excited for that, for us to be able to just pause, stop, really connect on a deep level.
I think for me
Yeah.
the metaphor of a dance
Yes, I love that.
was very explanatory.
Yes, I love the visual of it also.
Yeah.
Want to explain it?
Yeah, so each person has their own dance that they do in life. It's like your cadence, your pace, your style is from you. But then somebody else enters your life and they have their own pace and their own cadence and their own style. So now you have to, in a marriage, you have to learn how to match your style and your cadence. And it probably will be something completely new. It will be a new style, a new cadence, a new pace.
Well, by definition, those two styles coming together create something new.
Right. And to be very clear about what am I referring to when I say like each person has their own style or pace or cadence. It's not just like as you go through life that you have your own thing. The way you react to a trigger, the way you react to something that happens in your life, you have your own way and style of reacting to that thing. So when someone cuts you off in traffic, you have your dance in that moment. And then when somebody else is in your life, now that dance since you're now dancing together, your style and their style can end up not going well together.
Stepping on each other's toes.
And that's when you step on each other's toes.
All right.
And it's, so like that metaphor was just, it made it very clear. Like it's just like, okay, now I understand what's going on here. It's funny, when I was much younger, probably like 13 or so, I remember my sister describing marriage in a way of like you two, like the husband and the wife are like two separate animals. And like when you have a marriage, now you're both a whole new animal.
Interesting.
It's a whole new thing described in a totally different way. So it's like when you get into a marriage, or just being a couple, like if you are sort of gonna stick to your guns and like not be willing to change, then it becomes very, very difficult,
Yeah, cumbersome.
cumbersome. Yeah.
Yeah, and we will definitely, when we're having a challenging time, we have definitely referred to before and said, like, we are stepping on each other's toes right now.
Right.
Like, let's try to get back in sync and in flow with our dance.
Yeah. And it's interesting you're saying it that way, because what happens when we get triggered is that we fall back to what we know.
Yeah.
Right, which is interesting, because when a trigger happens, the way to react to it is actually about being creative, right?
What do you mean the way to react to it?
Meaning the way to react to it in a way that helps the trigger flow.
Okay.
Right. When a person gets I want to explain this because I think this is very intelligent. When a person gets triggered, now they're in a state of like a little bit out of control. So it's a little bit like what's happening is not in my control. So like you have to react, but you don't know how to react because you're not in control. So what ends up happening is that you then fall back to what you know, right? Since you're in a trigger, you don't know how to react. So now you have to fall back to what you know, and that could be something you learned from when you were younger, or something that you learned along the way that didn't help you. So you just keep hitting that trigger, and then you just keep falling back on this old behavior that doesn't help you. So the way to like work on a trigger, get past the trigger, grow past the trigger, is to be creative. So in that moment where you don't have control, it's fine. Lean into it and become creative. And if you're creative in that moment, then you can figure out a way to get past the trigger. First of all, you have to let it flow through you. If it's a feeling or whatever it is, like let the feeling flow through you. And in that moment, you could then be creative in solving the issue, whatever it is that triggered you. Hope that was clear.
I am confused. The way I understood with the creativity is creativity can only come not from a triggered place. When I'm triggered, I don't have creativity. So I need to feel through that feeling, ground myself back, and then I can be creative. When I am triggered, I'm just doing my falling back to old patterns. I'm falling back to my immediate response.
I think I was trying to say that, but I didn't. Right. The cure to a trigger is the creativity.
Okay, but that doesn't cure the trigger because my creativity is gone when I'm in a triggered state. When I'm in a triggered state, all I can think about, if let's say I'm angry, I only see the bad and I only see the anger and I only see the mad and the fumes, and I only see that. If I can feel through that feeling, then I can be creative. So I don't see it as a cure. I see it as...
I guess I would say the trigger's still there. Let's give a real example.
Okay.
So let's say you do something that triggers me.
Okay.
For example, putting disposable, what's it called?
Forks, spoons, and knives.
Plastic fork spoons or paper plates that should be going into the trash.
Not paper plates, okay? Let's not...
Anything that should be going into the trash ends up in the sink, okay? It's a trigger for me. I don't like it. When I see it, I get upset. So in this moment, right, I get upset. And there's a way to fall back on my old ways by raising my voice, yelling and saying, Rivka, why is it you keep doing this? Or you keep putting the plastic stuff into the sink? Like, I don't understand. I thought I told you 100 times I don't like it when you do that. Like, that is one way to react. And that's the old way. That's like the way that I was as a child, like when I didn't get my way or when I really didn't like something.
Right.
But if I feel the feeling of upsetness, and let it flow, then I can react to it in a very different way.
What, do you have something to tell me?
Yeah, I really don't like when plastic stuff go into the sink. I feel like the sink already is like a dirty place. So like just having more garbage in the sink is just, I don't know. I'm not sure why it upsets me. Really not sure. But can I ask you to please, like in the future, like just have in mind not to, like when you see yourself doing that, if you could just throw it into the trash. Please.
Yeah. I get that it really upsets you when you see the trash in the sink. I definitely will keep in mind. No, I know that bothers you. I'm also going to ask for understanding. Sometimes if I'm feeding Al-Hanan or doing something and giving him with plastic fork, spoon, or whatever, utensils, and then I put his dish in the sink, things are happening fast. So I'm not always even realizing that I'm putting it in. Because I know it bothers you and I don't want to be doing it because you don't like it. And I'm fine with that. It doesn't belong in the sink. It should go in the garbage. So I will try my best. And if you do see it, I'm more than happy for you to ask me to come and remove it.
Well, thank you. And if I do see plastic stuff in the sink, I can think, well, what I'll try to focus on is that you are taking care of Al-Hanan. And you're doing that for us and taking care of our son. And I deeply appreciate that. So if I see a fork in the sink, then it'll remind me of my love for you. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thanks for the understanding.
You're welcome.
And that's where the creativity comes in. So that was great because I think that when we say the word creative, I don't know that it's clear as to what that actually means. Creativity just means dealing with it in a different way other than your fallback, your knee-jerk, your pattern, what you're used to. That's what creativity is. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's actually creative, like it's actually
well, right,
unique.
I guess creative makes it sound like it has to be this like
exactly
unique thing.
Yeah, sometimes it is. We have had many times that both of us have been triggered together, and it's like we're just angry, mad, or whatever at a situation, and then it's like once we're done with it and it passes, like, oh my gosh, how come we didn't think of this any sooner? Oh, because we were triggered.
Right, it happens a lot.
I do know that I love the couples trust agreement because it's something that a practical use that we still use till today. So let's expound on that.
Yeah, sure.
What is it? The couples trust agreement is it 4 or 5 different sentences that we say to each other that
it's like recommitting.
Yes. It's recommitting to each other.
In regard to trust.
Yes. Now, this is something I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
Do you remember, how did you think of trust in regards to marriage and relationship prior to taking this course?
Yeah. Interesting. I think trust before this course to me was like reliance. Like I can rely on you to like do your responsibility.
Because I trust you.
Right.
Or because I don't trust you, so I can't rely on you.
Right. So
okay.
Also like kind of trust in regard to like me not doing something to betray you. That was another thing. Like you can trust me to like not cheat on you. Like that was what trust was in my head. That's whenever a conversation of trust came up, it was always like, you can trust me not to lie to you, right? You can trust me not to hurt you, right? That's what the trust a lot of times was for me before the course.
Okay. So the first thing you were saying, it's really I can trust you that you're reliable.
Yeah.
So it's putting it on you. I'm putting it on you.
Mm-hmm. Well, it would always be in any meaning whenever it would be like, you can trust me that I'm not going to betray you.
Yeah.
Was always something that was like, I'm not going to do something to you, or I'm going to do something to you, as opposed to something for myself. Right.
Could we say it again clearly? Because it's,
sure.
I'm getting confused. Because this is what the big distinction is of what we learned after, right? I think the biggest piece is the betrayal. Okay, but that's something about that you're saying that I can trust you for that. The first thing is like, it's like my go-to of like prior to the course was, I can't trust you because you're not reliable. So that's me saying, it's like based on your action, you're no longer trustworthy. So it's like you're wiped out, you're no longer trustworthy. So it's blaming. It's putting all the responsibility on you. With the trust agreement, I think the big difference is it's me taking responsibility. I am telling you why you can trust me, as opposed to me telling you why I can't trust you.
Right. I think in regard to trust, I mean, there was definitely a point, but it was also like, it was always these things that were super, like, I don't want to say high stakes, but like big no-nos, right? Lying to each other is
Yeah.
like it's a no-no. Like, you don't lie to your spouse. It's just that it's not a recipe for a good marriage is
Well,
lying.
we have done some deep research in the communities,
Sure. Well, we'll get to that.
and we have found that not everyone believes that.
Right. It's pashut to me. It appears to be very clear to me that lying in a relationship is not beneficial for the relationship.
Okay.
So, like, again, with trust, it was always like, you can trust that I'm not lying to you. You can trust me. Trust me. I'm not lying to you. Like, that was what trust was in my head.
Yeah.
As opposed to in the couples course, what we learned about trust is saying to your spouse that they can trust you to come to them if you have an issue with them as soon as you're able to. That if I have an issue with you, I'm not going to like hold it inside me and then let it fester and then come out in resentment. You can trust me that I'm going to come to you with an issue that I have about you. Now, it's crazy because people hear that. Like, one second, you go to your spouse and say you have a problem with them. Like, that in itself is foreign to a lot of people. And again, maybe not to you, the listener, but we've heard. This is what we've heard on the street. Which you know, I think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate that you can't go to your spouse and say an issue that you have with them. Maybe if you don't know how to do that, okay, there's learning to do there, like how to approach your spouse about something that bothers you about them. That's a good point. But doesn't mean it's off the table. Like, that's something that shouldn't be done.
Right.
But,
just to make it clear, that is one of the trust agreements that we keep saying to each other. What we decide to do is we make a reminder on the first of the month. We have it on our calendar. We have a copy of the trust agreement saved in the calendar, so we don't have to go look for it each month. And we like to do it with each other, turning to each other and saying it. I love it because it's a din v'cheshbon. It really is. It's like one of the things that we're saying is that you can trust me that if I have something to bring up, I don't remember them by heart, but if I have something to bring up that's between us, that comes between us, you can trust me that I'll do it as soon as I'm able.
Right.
That
I'll pull it up.
Okay.
It's pretty wild because it's like,
it's incredible what it does.
Yeah.
Because when we're looking into each other's eyes and you're listening to me saying these to you, it's making me make sure that I am holding myself accountable to these agreements. So if there's something that I realize, hey, I didn't tell you, it feels like it's a secret, now is when I get to say it to you. And when you're saying it to me, what I'm gaining from that is I know that I can trust you because you're telling me that I can trust you. And you like it's incredible the trust that is created from this alone.
Right. It's in this moment where you're connecting with your spouse. There's no distraction.
Yeah.
There's just a true connection. There's just a moment in time where you're not doing anything else. You're not busy with anything else. You're looking into each other's eyes, and you're saying to them that they can trust you in regard to whatever it is.
Right.
It's a very
powerful,
powerful moment, right. And it's powerful for the relationship.
Yes.
Like, imagine what that can do. Imagine what that can do. Do we have to imagine?
Well, we can share what it has done for us.
Yeah.
It has helped us.
Yeah.
We have skipped it some months just because of busy. When we come back to it, it's like it brings back also it's like vows.
Let's read them.
Okay. So say this to your spouse. Avichayil, you can trust me to listen to you without figuring out how to respond for as long as you need me to. Avichayil, you can trust me to respect you, especially when I disagree with you. Avichayil, you can trust me to speak up and share even when I am nervous. Avichayil, you can trust me to handle anything that comes up for me with you as soon as possible. And Avichayil, you can trust me to always return to my love for you and to be thankful and grateful that I have you in my life and you're my husband.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it connects me back to the softness. It connects me back to our love. It connects back to our commitment that we have towards each other.
That we had in the beginning.
Exactly, from then. But I want to say also, this is just great. This course, we took it when we were dating. We weren't married yet, but we were committed to each other. It's not just for two friends to take with each other, because you have to get, there's a bunch of work that you got to do in the course.
Yeah.
Vulnerability. So it's not just two friends. You're either have an established relationship, you're working towards an establishment. There's a commitment there. You're in it. But it can be for dating. It can be for engaged. It can be for married, just married. It can be for a few years married. It can be for 10 years, and it can be for 50 years to reignite the connection. One of the things that as a description, it's talking about different stages. If you enter into a different stage in marriage, we know how life changed just by having a child. It was incredible, the amount that changed. That was a completely new dance. We needed to learn a lot. So it's like this course can come in at any stage of your relationship.
What do you think of the last agreement?
You can trust me to always return to my love for you and be thankful for having you in my life.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like, at what point are you needing to return to your love for your spouse?
Okay, that's a good question. I think that what this does for me is it reminds me, okay, I love you. So it's like if there's something that we're dealing with or something that we are butting heads over, whatever, then if I remember my love that I have for you, that helps me not forget it, but it helps me approach it in a much softer way. It helps me remember your magnificence and to see you through that and then talk to you from there. It's like, hold on, I don't need to be mean. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be harsh. I don't want any of that, because I love you. What about you? What are you thinking about?
I think when I think about this, it's like there are times where I get very stuck in my head of like, you're this and you're that, and you're like, I can't live the life that I want to live, and like all this stuff that like come up. They're all triggers because
Right.
it's like I feel whatever it is. But then this part of the trust agreement is that I'll always come back to the fact that I love you, and you're somebody, most important thing in my life. And then through that, it's almost like that gives me the power to work through the triggers that I'm having, the things that are holding me back from having just a loving relationship with you. This tells me I have to return to my love for you. Like I have to go back and like have that as my foundation so that I could work through whatever triggers are coming up between us.
Right. So question on that. Is that what you're... Okay, question. So is that what happens for you when all that commentary is running through your mind? Do you remind yourself of your love for me, and that's what gets you through it?
Yeah, many times.
Okay.
But that's the trust agreement that you can trust me that I'll always return to my love for you. What does it mean to return to my love? Makes it sound like you're departing from the love for
Right.
for whatever
That
it
is
is.
what happens during triggers.
Right.
I guess I don't find myself when I also have that commentary. When I'm triggered, I find myself having certain patterns of thoughts that come up in my brain about you, negative thoughts. Mine's a different comment, a different script.
Different girsa.
Yeah, than yours. Which, by the way, we've shared with each other in the past, and I like it. Because, it's not insulting, it's not hurtful. I don't know. There's just understanding with it, and I'm curious, like, what are those things that you're thinking when you are? Is it the love that then?
The way I understand that is that love is the foundation. So, like, when you
Right.
return to your love, you return to the foundation. And it's interesting. I mean, this is another thought, like, and this is difficult because there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of different types of suffering out there. And one of the types of suffering is being in a loveless relationship, being in a loveless marriage is a very particular type of suffering. Like, you love your kids, but, like, you don't have anyone that you can connect with in the most vulnerable, intimate way. It's very sad.
Painful.
So, painful.
It's painful.
It's very painful. So, like, this last thing of, like, return to my love for you, like, just what it makes me think of is the person who thinks to themselves, like, there is no love to return to.
Ouch.
Yeah. That's very sad. Trust agreement. Are there any other parts of the couples course that you want to note before we move on?
Any other parts of a couples course? I think, well, okay, this is what's popping into my mind right now is when we were reviewing the sections of the couples course in order to tell it to couples, and when we were, advertising for it, I remember it said something about a team. I want to pay attention to that this time. Like, what did we talk about? What did we learn about a team? Because that's something that we struggled with a lot after Elchanan was born, being and feeling that we are still a team. So I don't remember that section, and I'm excited to relearn that part. That after the course, I just remember that it was just so beautiful, and I loved having the same language with you. It was like we could have had the same conversation prior to the course, and we had many conversations while we were dating, and often we would disagree about an idea or something. And after the course, I just felt that there was so much more. We were so much more on the same page, and we could just understand each other better because we had a common language. We really did. I felt we learned how to listen to each other better, holding space. We really learned what holding space was. We got to practice it with each other. And if, let's say, I was talking and I thought it felt like you weren't here, you were thinking about something, I would be able to ask that to you straight out. Like, and you could do the same to me, or you can say, like, I just need you to, we learned how to say our needs really clearly. Like, I just need you to listen to me now. I don't want you to try to fix it. You could say that to me, and then it's like, hey, this is what I want. We learned it together. This is what we both want.
What do you think stops people from doing that in a relationship, saying what they need?
Is it an automatic that you know how to say your needs? I don't know that I was good at it before, and I still struggle with saying my needs.
Why? What stops you from saying your needs?
What stops me from saying my needs? One thing I think could sometimes be me admitting to myself what I actually need. Like, there can be something vulnerable in it. So if I'm not admitting to myself that this is what I need right now, I could try asking, but there's something. I know something consciously, but subconsciously I don't really get it yet. No.
I just want to get into that. What is
Okay.
the vulnerability of needing something?
Taking up space, making a request, existing, When I am asking or requesting a need of mine, all of that's happening. I'm saying that I'm important. What if I don't believe I'm important? Then I don't have the right to ask for something.
Do you
That
think
can get in the way.
do you think that the answer of no, like if you ask for your need, if for a need and the answer you get is no, do you think that lends to the vulnerability? Because now you don't have what you
I
need,
need
and
an
now,
example.
say
Yeah.
again, you
What's
need
an
an
example?
example. I don't know. What is something you need?
Something with going to sleep on time.
So, what stops you from telling me that we need to go and sleep on time? Sleep
Because
on time, by the way, means in bed before 11. Yes?
depends on the night.
Depends on
Meaning
the
we
night.
can set the rules each time. What stops me? I have a running commentary saying, "You, Rivka, you are being the annoying one. You are being like a teacher. You are being strict. Avichayil just wants to be free. He just wants to live life and be happy. So every time you say something like this, you're the annoying, nagging one." That's what stops me from making my request.
Is that vulnerability or what is that?
That's voices.
I guess, where's the vulnerability in saying, like, let's go to sleep on time? Could be that you don't feel that anymore. Maybe in the beginning you did.
Right.
The vulnerability. Like, what would be a
Right.
need?
That's not an example where vulnerability comes in.
Yeah.
There are definitely other examples that vulnerability comes in.
Like what?
I have to think.
I can say one.
Okay.
When I need to not, like, when I need time or space. Like, when I need my own space and my own time. That's a need that I have difficulty asking for, because the vulnerability is that
You have difficulty or do not?
I have difficulty.
Okay.
Because there's the vulnerability in that is saying no. Like, I can't have you, I need you, and I can't have you spend time for yourself. There's also, like, saying that, like, I need my own space is, like, I don't know, there's something about that that's like tapping into my power. And wanting to tap into my own power is something that's like, what do you mean? Like what you're not owning your life. Like, it's a little bit, it's interesting, because it's like, are you the master of your own life, or you're not the master of your own life? The answer is no. I'm married, and it's not somebody else is the master, but we're living life together. So it's not like I could just get up and leave, right? There is an aspect of, like, not asking, right? This is the Joe Rogan. Let him, right? I'm not asking you to, like, you to give me permission, but it's like checking in with you because we live a life together.
Right.
So there's vulnerability in there.
I want to make sure I'm understanding. The last part you're saying, the vulnerability of tapping into your power.
Tapping into my power to be able to ask for what I need.
So it's vulnerable to tap into your power.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Because if you say no, then that means I'm not powerful. That means I don't have any power. So if I don't have any power, then I'm out of control. Like, F all this. What do you mean I don't have any power? So that's a very vulnerable place that I don't want to go to. Where it's like, that's scary. That's a scary place. It means I'm not in control.
Yeah, I heard that. I can relate to the tapping into power as feeling vulnerable.
Yeah.
So asking for what I want, if it's tapping into my power, then I don't see the next part of what goes on in your mind about that. Like, I don't see that for myself, but I'm not sure what it is. I need to listen better to hear it. But the first part, I have felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about like what you plan on doing for the couples course? Like your touch, your flavor that you're adding to it?
Sure. I'm really excited about that part.
Well, I guess I should first say like the couples course. The way when we took it was over Zoom. It was over 6 weeks. It was 6 Sundays. What we're doing now is we're having a retreat in a house that happens to be in Monroe. Doesn't mean it's just Monroe couples. Okay, let's be very clear. Right, Rivka,
I
you got
some
some
commentary about that.
Yeah, you got people asking you about that. Like, is it just for people in Monroe? No, it's not just for people in Monroe. The house happens to be in Monroe to the point where like
People in Monroe are welcome.
for sure. To the point where we tried to like not make it like when we put location, we didn't want to say Monroe, New York. Like we tried saying West Bergenfield.
Tuxedo Park.
For Tuxedo Park, it's not Tuxedo Park. It's like it's like the north part of Monroe, so it's super far away from Tuxedo Park. It's not even close.
It's a beautiful house.
Beautiful house.
Beautiful grass and grounds all
Yep.
around.
It has a hot tub. It's got a mikveh,
And a shul.
shul.
And a nice porch. It's very nice. It's a very nice area. Lots of open window space inside.
Yep.
We're having max 9 couples.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And
And a lot of the work, it's not, there are a bunch of people who might listen to this have gone to a Discover Magnificence course. So this is in Discover Magnificence. There's 12 students. Each student has a turn. They get up in front of everybody.
has an experience. Get a chance to have an
Experience. So we're not calling it a turn anymore. Has an experience, and they get up in front of everybody and they have their process. This is not at all like that. There's no like couples like coming to the front of the room and like talking about the challenges that they have in their marriage. This is a conversation about the tools and techniques that people can use in their marriages. And you can choose to talk. You could choose to be silent the entire weekend.
publicly, meaning
Publicly, right.
we learn a skill and then we'll have an opportunity to work it, to practice it with our spouse.
Right.
When we come back, everyone joins back together. The instructors will check in how that was. Every couple gets to choose how much they want to share and publicly
Right.
in front of the other 8 couples. It's up to everyone. That aspect of couples being able to choose how much, like we each get to go and do all the work with our spouses. We have coaches there to help us work it through. We're learning together. But I love this part of the way of the structure of the couples course is that that of each couple can choose, like when asking for help, of how much information they want to share in front of the rest of the group. You don't need to, and you definitely can if you want to.
Right.
It will be an environment that you can. And with that, marriages can, people can be sensitive about it. And if they're not comfortable, you do not need to. You're not being put in a position that you have to.
Right. Right. It's not like you're gonna like display your dirty laundry.
Exactly.
It's not about that. It's not about
No.
that. It's interesting because like people think couples course or with marriage therapy, it must be the marriage is in a bad place.
Right.
Not at all. This course can be helpful for marriages. I wouldn't say that are in like a desperate place where there's just like terribleness going on.
Right.
But like for couples who are, the relationship got a little stale, or you know what,
Rocky.
you have a lot
Or
of
got
kids,
rocky.
or rocky, or you know what, you had a bunch of kids, you're super busy with your job, you guys are like overwhelmed, and there's just no time to work on the relationship. This is a good time to just reignite that.
Yeah. I think it also with communication. It's excellent for relationships who have a lot of good communication under their belt, and yet there's still more they can learn, or they can tap into the specific skills that we learn over here. And it can be for relationships that can use skills for basic communication. It's really it's incredible how this can be used for all those different levels.
Right.
Not levels, all those different
I would say
Stages.
levels, stages, but also I would say levels in the marriage.
Okay.
Like even those who are very, very intimate and are very, very close and are like super strong in their relationship. Like this is yet another course that can help them get even stronger,
Yeah.
that can deepen the love even more.
Right.
So, definitely recommend people checking out the course. Reach out, DM me, PM me. Now, who are the instructors? Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Pam and Inga. Pam Dunn and Inga Michelson
Michelson.
from the Netherlands. You ask her where she's from, she's going to say the Netherlands. So who are these people? So Pam Dunn, first of all, she's worked in the Orthodox community, Jewish Orthodox community since 1996, which is since I was born. Right? Since 1996?
I'm not sure about in the Jewish community.
Maybe it was 2001.
I don't remember the Jewish community part.
Maybe it was 2001.
Inga
For
also has
20
been
plus
part
years.
of the Jewish community for years.
Right. 20 plus years. They have a tremendous amount of understanding of lifestyles, of culture, of backgrounds, of everything. Now it's interesting. I think a reason why someone might say that's not for them is because it is interesting. Like, we're having two non-Jewish instructors. Like, what happened to like the Torah being the way that we should live our lives? Like, how is the Torah not like? Shouldn't I be going to a course that is led by Das Torah people? Then, like, why is it that I'm going to this course that's not led by Das Torah people, or non-Jewish people? Pam is from St. Louis and Inga's from the Netherlands. So, like, what is the response to that about people who say that?
I don't see how this is taking away from Torah values. This is just helping you learn a way to communicate and to exist and to love. How is that going against or contradicting Torah values?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They're not Jewish, and yeah, I don't see how.
They don't say anything that's like that. It's like
It's not apikarsis.
not Picarsis for sure, but also like they're not saying anything that's like your values say you should do this, this, and this,
Correct.
but we're telling you that you should go against those values and do this, this, this instead.
And they're actually not telling you. They're not. They don't come and say you need to do blank and blank.
Right.
They're showing us a new way to trust, a new way to communicate, a new way to hold space and to listen. And they describe it in a very clear way, and they help us practice it and do it. They're not saying you must do this.
Right.
They're not saying you must stop anything else. They're showing us how this can help and just enrich your marriage, which I believe the Torah wants us to have an enriched marriage. It
Right.
leads to so much good.
Yeah. It's interesting that, like, but like what's interesting is that they know the different ways. Like, they know about Nida, they know about the different laws regarding Nida, they know the lifestyle, the having lots of kids, the growing up, in an environment that is, like Shomer Nagia, or like not talking to girls, not associating with girls, and then suddenly,
Being married
being married.
to
Like
opposite gender.
Right, and they understand that. Like, they understand that is the culture, and they're not here to like fight against the culture or say
Right.
like that shouldn't have been done, or it's normal to do this, and like they're not here to judge, and they're not here to like say
They
that.
don't. They don't. That isn't what they're doing.
Right. It's about giving over the skills, giving over the techniques.
For you to take charge and to make change in your marriage and have it the way you want it.
Yeah. Being that we are past the hour, do we want to wrap?
You're going to say one of your raps now?
My raps? Yeah. Go to the marriage course. It's gonna be great, of course. Could you rhyme two words that are the same word but mean
No.
different things?
No.
It's actually nice, funny. It's not a marriage course. It's a couples course.
Right. because it's not specific to marriage.
It's not specific to
It's
marriage.
relationships.
Right.
Yeah. Is there anything else that is? Okay. Let's both close our eyes and think of if there's anything that pops out of like, a burning desire of wanting to share about the couples course.
I do want to talk about our honesty piece,
Okay.
but it's interesting because this is not necessarily part of the couples course.
Okay.
Like, we didn't really specifically talk about honesty at any point in the couples course. It was more about learning how to communicate, learning how to be with each other. But like, I feel like honesty is a piece of our marriage that we value.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about talking about that?
Sure.
So Rivka and I practice what's called, what some have labeled as radical honesty. And that is that we do not lie to each other. We do not hide
withhold.
things. We don't withhold things from each other.
Past, present, and future.
Yeah. And a lot of people hear this and like the first thing that comes into their head is like, so you're saying I should just tell my spouse everything? Like I should just volunteer all the information? And our answer to that is like, it depends if what you're holding back is something that you're hiding. Like if you're hiding something from your spouse, that is probably something you should share with them. Like I'm not saying like you should just, like if there's a part of your past that like you moved on from and it's like, it's something that you just think about how you were as a little kid and it's not something that you're hiding, then that's different. But if you're like actively hiding something, then that's a sure sign that you should share it. Why? And I'll explain why.
Yeah, and let's see if we could give examples instead of
Sure.
having just the description and the general.
Sure. So the reason why is because, and this is actually Torah. You want to talk about Das Torah? Adam and Chava, when they were created, they were described as a basar echad. They were when man was created, it was the male and the female were like one flesh. So what does that mean? Now this is where it's not Das Torah. This is Das Avichayil, because I haven't seen him first that says it like this. But I cannot lie to my arm. If I steal something, it's not like I can like deny to my arm that I stole. My arm knows that I stole because my arm is part of me. We're a basar echad. I'm basar echad with my arm. It's the same thing with your spouse. If you're hiding something from your spouse, then you're no longer a basar echad. You're not just a one flesh that is living together, that is having this experience of life together. You've now cut off your spouse when you have that hidden thing. And then that's the first thing. But the second thing is that it actually hurts your relationship, because what hiding things do is that it puts up a barrier between you and your spouse where you can't get close enough, right? Your spouse is the most intimate relationship possible in this life. You're not going to get more intimate with anybody else in this life, and you're going to live your 120 years. And if you're not going to be as intimate as possible with your spouse, you're essentially living alone. It's alone for 120 years. If every single time you get close and every single time you let go of the barriers that are in your head, but then something comes up and it stops you.
And you have to keep track of those things.
Right. Keeping track of those things, like making sure that it doesn't slip. I ask Rivka to like ask me questions when I'm sleep talking.
That is true. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Avichayil gets in the morning. He gets so excited when I say, Avichayil, you were talking in your sleep last night. He gets so excited and he's like, what did I say? And no matter what he says, even if it's usually work related and very often very silly and doesn't make sense, he's so excited. He's like, did you ask me more questions? I'm like, you want me to say like, what's my name, and like test you on these things and make sure you're not thinking of anyone else.
We do know another couple that does that. We won't say who, but the wife asks the husband when he's sleep talking, like, who's your wife? Who do you love most in the world? But like again, so like imagine you're in a place where you can't trust your spouse to sleep talk to them.
Right.
That is like that. You're not living. You're not living a
You're not
purely
freely-
open, what's that?
freely.
A free breathing life. If you can't trust your sleeping self with your spouse, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to cast a judgment and say I believe that is sad. I believe that is a unfortunate way to live. I think the most fortunate way to live is to be a basar echad with your spouse. Again, I want to be very clear. This whole piece is not part of the couples course. Because people get very scared about this whole topic. They really get scared about this whole topic because it's like, oh my gosh, you're telling me to be honest with my spouse. You know how many things I've been like keeping back? Like, it's...
Well, also because when we're talking about honesty, often the person we're saying it to, they'll be like, oh, so if your wife is wearing a dress that you don't like, you're going to tell her?
That's the famous question.
And our answer is yeah. And if your husband is...
Well, our answer is a bit different. Meaning, our answer is, if your wife asks you, "Do I look fat in this dress?" Right, that's the question.
Right.
The famous "fat in the dress" question. So many wives are so fat in their dresses, they have to ask this question. And it's so funny because like they ask this question as if it's like this breaks the whole.
Right.
It's
This is
so
gonna
so
break your
backward.
logic.
Yeah, it's so like. You can't be honest with your spouse because what if she asks you, "Do I look fat in this dress?" As if that's the question that's going to break your marriage. It's whatever. But yes,
With
let's
that
say
out, can we talk about this without saying all the commentary that we've heard? Because then people who are listening now, they may not be having this commentary,
Sure.
and they're actually just listening to what we're saying.
it's true.
So it's like then we're rooting the experience of us just being able to share with them.
I think I get very excited about this conversation. I think, look, I've had arguments with people.
You have.
A lot.
But right now we're not arguing.
It's true. I guess I'm arguing with them in my head.
Exactly. Can we just share it
Sure.
without the argument?
You don't want me getting all passionate and
I
yelling,
do-
or is it too loud in your ears?
No, it's not too loud. It's just I think that that's confusing to someone who's listening to it for the first time. You're saying arguments without saying it's missing steps.
Okay. All right. I'll try to keep it down.
Okay.
It's okay. So your wife asks you, "Do I look fat in this dress?" Now, in a relationship where both of you are being honest, she is asking you that question honestly. See, that's
Right.
the difference.
Right, that's the premise.
She's asking you this question honestly. And if she is asking you this question honestly, then of course you should give an honest answer. Now, in a relationship where honesty is not,
Wait, but also hold on. There's a way to respond. When I ask you questions like that, are you going to just say yes or
you're
not?
as fat as a whale.
I'm going to take whatever you say to mean that that's what you're saying.
Right.
However, that's not how you say it. Meaning, we're not saying be mean to each
Right.
other. We're not saying to be mean. We're saying use your softness. And we're also saying be honest in it. If you don't think that dress is flattering, then find a creative way to share what it is that you don't like about the dress. Like that's how we
Right.
like. That's what we do.
By the way, men, you want to hear a great way to say the dress that doesn't fit you? Very easy. It doesn't hit you in the right way. It works every time. Because the dresses usually hit you over here, but this one hits you over here. It just doesn't. But just
Wives, you know a technique to use? Don't ask your husband how the dress looks. Decide for yourself and feel confident in it, and then come down. So no matter what your husband says, you can come back and say, "I hear you, love. I like and I feel good in this dress."
Right, and that's another thing. If you feel good in the dress, then like, right, what is the purpose of the question? I think that's really the root of it.
Okay,
If
so
the- if-
this question, I think there is a tricky because I love what you said, the first thing. If we're going based off of the premise that the question is being asked honestly, is the wife really asking it or is she asking for something else?
yeah.
That's
That right, exactly. So that's
distinction.
actually where we can use this question to actually talk about what, like, asking for what you need. Like if a wife just needs
Right,
to hear
right.
her husband say that she looks pretty,
then
You can ask for that.
Right. So that's really good.
right? But like, is that uncouth to say to your husband, Can you tell me that I look pretty?
What does uncouth mean?
Uncouth is like
Unheard of?
unclassy. It's not
Unclassy?
classy.
For myself, I don't care if it's classy or not, but I have asked that to you. Like, Avichayil, I could use some reassurance right now. I'm not feeling good about myself. Can you remind me how pretty I am or whatever it is? Can you tell me that I look good or whatever it is? Another example that I'm being reminded of is the toothpaste in the bathroom, right? If let's say the wife is bothered that the husband leaves the toothpaste cap opened, what we like to do is, it's just very similar to the plastic in the. Oh, I like the shower curtain to be closed in the bathroom after. It bothers me when it's opened. I love that fresh, smooth look of the white curtain in the bathroom. When you leave it open, it bothers me. We believe that that's something that we are allowed to and can and should share with each other, because if not, I'm holding back saying something to you and it will impact our relationship somewhere. Often people will say to that, just suck it up.
Suck it up, yeah.
And figure it out yourself. And you cannot, if you're going to constantly be telling each other things that bother you throughout the day, there's no life.
So what do we say to that? What does that even mean? You're going to be sharing with each other things that bother you? There are so many things that could bother you. So like, what, are you just going to not say anything for their...
Yeah, the classic thing is dinner. If I make dinner and you don't like how it tastes, I would like for you to tell me that. Now I have a request. Mm-hmm. Also, this is the key. Don't tell it to me. Now that you're laughing, I'll continue with that. Don't tell it to me when we are in the middle of dinner, the dinner you no longer like, and you just decided that you don't like it anymore mid the meal. Please don't tell it to me then. Please.
So should I eat the dinner and then tell it to you after?
That one more time, yes.
What?
That last time,
you could
eat it. Yeah.
Meaning if you've decided that you don't like the dinner,
mid-dinner,
eat that dinner.
Please. Yeah. Or don't finish it. So don't finish it. Don't finish it, but don't tell it to me when the plate is in front of you and I just worked hard on dinner. Please don't. It doesn't feel sensitive to tell it to me when the plates are still at the table in front of us. Rather, clear your plate, put it away. Later that night or the next morning, say, like, Rivka, I know you noticed I didn't finish my plate. I don't like this dinner anymore. I don't like fish, or I don't like whatever it is. Mm-hmm. For now. Because someone here often changes their mind.
One of us two changes their mind. We haven't had tilapia in a long time.
Yes. Do you know why? Do you suddenly have a like?
No, I think I still don't.
Okay.
Maybe
Let
a different
me tell
fish.
you though,
beer battered something.
Prior to this dislike, it was the best dinner you could have. That you could have it every night for dinner and be a happy man. Quote: Avichayil Rivka.
You know what dinner I could have and be a happy man?
Brownies.
Sour bread.
And olive oil.
Sourdough with olive oil. Oh, you dip it in the olive oil. So good.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs I could have every night.
Burgers. Before I forget, I want to go back to these examples that we were giving about trust. I think a piece that I think is something that we learned from the couples course is when we're sharing something with each other, we're not trying to or looking to hurt each other's feelings. Yet, if when I'm expressing a need to you, or if I'm telling you something that's going on for me about having to do with us, and it hurts your feelings are hurt, then that should not be my stopper for sharing it with you. I still want to share it with you. I can be and I want to be understanding that your feelings may be hurt, and then hold space for you in that. Yet if I hold myself back from sharing something from you because I'm worried about your feelings, I'm not being fully honest. And then there's a part of me that's suffering and being stifled. And I'm not sharing everything about myself with you because there's something that I'm holding back. Yeah. That's something that we often, it's like we're not looking to hurt each other's feelings, yet if
Right.
we do in the process, it's okay.
It's okay.
And we can handle that and we can deal with that.
Because at the end of the day, you hurt the people you love.
And right, so that's
Not-
a saying. Now let's actually talk about it.
Right, but meaning that it's not that like you should go out and hurt the people you love, but by loving each other, there's going to be hurt feelings.
Yeah.
There's going to be hurt. You can't avoid it. You can't go through your marriage and have never hurt your spouse. It's not possible.
Because there's so much closeness.
Right.
That you end up stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah.
As you end up saying something, there will be, and there is repair that can be done, and you can be as good as new and better.
And better, that's the thing.
Right.
The repair makes you a better couple. So like if you're avoiding hurt your entire marriage, you're never doing that repair, so you're never getting to the next step and growing in your marriage.
So let's talk about why is it that, and it gets better for ourselves, right? If we have something that we need to repair, it forces us or it pushes us to have a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
Which allows us to each be vulnerable with each other, share our feelings without the other person stopping, judging, or commenting on.
And you're able to work through a trigger. You're able to work through whatever trigger happened that made this hurt happen.
Right. Maybe
So, like-
to understand why this hurt so bad.
Right. And imagine there are things that that trigger you in a marriage, and then you have the opportunity to work through deep things about you in your marriage. This is
Can you say that again? You have opportunities
You
to
have
work
the
through
opportunity-
deep things about you that come up in your marriage.
that come up in your marriage. This is what I was talking about, like in the video, the marriage crisis commission.
Check it out.
Check it out on YouTube, Marriage Crisis Commission. It'll be a few videos below. It's on this channel. This is what I'm talking about. Like, your spouse will be your everything. They'll be your sibling. They'll be your parent. They'll be your therapist. They'll be your everything, because this is the person that you are going to open up to the most. This is the person that is going to trigger you the most. This is the person you're going to feel hurt by the most. And this is not, these are all good things, because this brings up all the things that you learn from your father. If your father, taught you a certain thing when you were younger,
Consciously or unconsciously?
consciously or unconsciously, this is now the time that you work through it, because there's a goal in mind. The goal in mind is to have a good marriage. Why do you want a good marriage, right? People say happy wife, happy life. It's good marriage, good asparagus. Good marriage, good, what rhymes with marriage?
A carriage.
Good marriage, good carriage, right? If you have a good marriage, you're living a good life. But what does it mean to have a good marriage? It means to head into these things head first. Dive into these things head first. When you get triggered, figure it out. Do the work. Go into it. Get in there.
Take a breath.
Because then you have that good marriage, and then you have a good life. End scene.
Right.
But also, right, it's also, I just want to be very clear.
Okay.
Good life doesn't mean like now you're going to have a good life for 120. It's a constant work.
Yeah.
And essentially what happens is that the good, close, intimate, loving times become deeper and longer. There's still times where you're figuring stuff out. There's still conflicts, and there's still disagreements and hurt feelings that happen. They're going to happen. It's not like you're going to be able to fix your life and like now none of those things will ever happen. Those things still will happen, but they'll happen farther apart. They'll repair quicker. They'll repair quicker because now you have the tools and now you've worked through all the stuff. As opposed to the marriage that you avoid all the hurts,
right.
You avoid all the conflicts, you avoid everything, and then it all comes crashing down.
Or it doesn't, because I do think that people have developed very incredible skills to keep it squashed down. However, are you happy?
Yeah.
Are you really happy? Are you really peaceful inside? Are you really feeling connected? Are you really feeling seen, loved, and cared for?
Some people might think that that's just what marriage is. Okay, marriage is miserable. Of course, this is what my parents had. My parents were miserable. They stayed married, but they were miserable. So like, this is just what you do. This is just what life is. So saying it like that is just so sad.
Right.
It's just very sad.
Unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. Could you imagine a person? It's like a person living through life in a pain like that.
It's very hard.
It's so hard.
I know that when we have something going on and we're not talking, or we're in a stuck place and it doesn't feel good, those times, the loneliness, it's like we're married, yet I go through the day being like, I don't care if we don't talk today. That's where I go to. I don't care if we don't talk. I don't need you anyhow. It's so lonely. It's so much more lonely than when I was single and I was lonely. Because I'm in a relationship. So there's something big that's missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I close my eyes, the piece that, are you done talking about trust?
Mm-hmm.
The piece that popped into my mind was just that realness. I'm just remembering like that sitting in the course room and being able to tap into a realness that happens in all of your Infinite Life course rooms. But here, it's specifically with me and you. It's specifically having to do with each of us doing introspection for ourselves that affects our relationship. And I'm just so excited for that. That's not something that we can get from one of our regular courses. Like, this is all about our relationship. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah. It's a focus on the relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should leave off with just what do you hope the people gain in this course?
What do I hope that people gain? Freedom, love, connection, communication, that it impacts their marriage, that they feel alive every day, that if there are children, that the children can see it and feel it and experience their parents differently. If there are friends can experience that, like that it really deeply impacts the couples.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I'm specifically thinking about the husbands.
Mm-hmm.
It's such an interesting, like, seeing it from a husband's perspective, seeing marriage from a husband's perspective. Like, a man has a masculine energy, and the man is filled with a power. There's a power of expansion. There's a power of big picture. The man sees the big picture in things, plans things out, and can put his head down, and he has the power to put his head down and push, and he also has the power to lift his head up and fight. Right? That's what like the man has. And when that's absent in a marriage, the marriage is just, it's hollow. It's lacking that deep base that it needs to be strong. When a marriage is just like, when a marriage is advocated for only by the wife, it's missing the deepness. But when a marriage is between both the husband and wife, and they're both in it together, and they're a team together, then it's almost like it's like a carrot cake.
Carrot cake.
Yeah, it's like a carrot cake, because it's not like a white cake. A white cake has like a lot of bubbles in it. It's like hollow, right? When you bite into a white cake, it's light, but a carrot cake has this
Density?
deep
It's
density,
rich.
richness. That's what it is. That's the word I was looking for. Not carrot cake.
It's so funny because as you're talking, the word that came to my mind was rich, and I'm thinking of like rich and jewels, and then a carrot cake.
Yeah. You ever bite into a carrot cake? It's like the richest. It's the deepest. You just bite into it, and you just get a it's like it's just so rich. So when a man is in the relationship, it's like a carrot cake. It's just like so deep and it's so good, you know. It's so
Full.
there's mamushes to it.
Right.
When a man is not there, it's just like it's like key lime pie. Maybe I'm just hungry. No, there's no foundation. It's very airy. It's very light. So I hope that couples gain a richness from this marriage where men can actually have a deep part of their marriage, is what I hope for.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining another Life with Avichayil and Rivka podcast.
Till next time.
Till next time.